Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Paula Enriquez from Generali Philippines, and I'll be your host. Today's session is getting real about fitness this Christmas, making movement work for office workers. December is a busy month, and it's also the time when many of us sit longer, move less, and feel the effect of long work hours mixed with holiday activities. Sedentary habits build up fast and they impact sleep, back pain, weight, and overall mood. This webinar focuses on simple ways to bring movement back into your day, especially if you spend most of your time at the desk. We'll talk about the real risk of sitting all day, practical routines you can do even when you're busy, and how workplaces can support healthier habits through small but steady changes. We're glad to have Dr. Almira Cunanan with us again. Dr. Cunanan works closely with workers and organizations on lifestyle and occupational health. She has a strong background in fitness-related behavior change, injury prevention, and medical support for office-based employees. She also handles telemedicine consultations, making her insights grounded in what people actually struggle with day to day. We're looking forward to learning from our practical movement-friendly advice. Dr. Almira, please take the floor.
So magandang araw po sa lahat. Good afternoon everyone. So for today, since we're celebrating the holidays and alam po natin na during the holidays, maraming parties that we will be attending, we will be eating a lot. I'll be giving you tips on how to burn those calories that you've just eaten. So hopefully you'll stay with me for this session again, okay? So let me begin. Okay. So again, this is brought to you by Dr. Anywhere, bringing healthcare to you. Slay the day and be active this holiday. So as I've said previously, when it's the holiday season, we have a lot of parties, we eat a lot, and basically we gain weight. So hopefully with our topic and lecture for this afternoon, we will be able to learn a few tips on how we can burn those calories and stay fit and physical, okay? So this is a brief overview of what we will be discussing for this afternoon. Okay, so again, I'm Dr. Cunanan. I'm a lifestyle medicine specialist, and I'm also an occupational health and safety physician as well as a certified primary care physician. So let's get started. First, I want to correct all those myths that you have probably believed for the rest of your life. So may mga sinasabi po sa atin yung mga kapitbahay ng kapitbahay na, Dok, di ba po, pag nag-exercise, ganito po. So meron tayong mga beliefs na we have really firmly believed. Pero mali pala. So I really wanted just to bust the myths and to correct those wrong information. Number one, when you do your workout, is it really no pain, no gain? So a lot of times when we do our workout, people would say, until it's not aching, it's not yet done. But the fact is, pain is a warning sign. Meaning, if you do your workout and you're already starting to feel pain, it could mean that there's already an injury starting to occur. So again, pain is a warning sign. Okay? You don't really have to push yourself towards that point where you already feel pain before you stop. You have to respect the pain, and when you feel the pain, you have to stop and get some rest. Okay? Second myth, your muscle turns into fat when you stop exercising. So a lot of patients would come to me and say, Doc, kaya po ako tumaba kasi po dati po nag-gym ako and then I stopped. So nag-convert po yung aking muscle into fat. Okay? So it's not true because your muscle and your fat are two different things. Magkaiba po sila. Okay? So you cannot convert your muscle into fat. It's just that when you stop exercising, when you previously did your exercise and then you stop, it's just that nababawasan yung nagbe-burn ng calories natin. Nababawasan yung nagbe-burn ng mga kinakain natin. Kaya, since nabawasan yung nagbe-burn, nagkakaroon ng space for growth of fat cells. Kaya, medyo nagiging mas bulkier tayo in terms of fat, hindi muscles. And also, when you stop exercising, even the size of your muscles, they get smaller. It's called atrophy. Ibig sabihin, lumiliit yung mga muscles because hindi mo na sila masyadong nagagamit. So again, the muscles, they don't turn into fat. It's just that they get smaller and somehow your capability to burn those energy or those calories are also diminished. That's why you gain more fat. Okay? Myth number 3. More exercise is always better. Okay? So there are gym rats na buong araw nasa gym, regardless kung may masakit na, wala silang pakialam. So this is actually not the case, okay? Because again, when you overtrain, you put yourself at a higher risk of getting injury or pwedeng fatigue. So what you need to do is you really need to do or to maintain a regular routine. Okay? Hindi always longer, mas better. Okay? So dapat balance din. So you balance your workout, you have to rest in between because again, overtraining can cause injury. And baka instead of it being beneficial, baka mas matagal yung recovery period that you would need. So it would take a longer period for you to start your exercise again. So again, more exercise is not always better. Okay. Walking isn't real exercise. Okay? So many people would say, Doc, mali po ako nag-exercise eh. Kasi po sabi kailangan mag-gym ako or magta-treadmill ako or dapat may mga gamit ako sa bahay para makapag-exercise. Actually, walking is a form of exercise as long as when you do your walking, merong sustained period, okay, na dapat na ma-meet mo yung criteria and at the same time, yung pacing, okay? But do you know that walking is actually a good way to improve your heart health? It can lower blood sugar, reduce your stress, and can help you lose weight. So, wag pong ismulin yung paglalakad. Okay? It's a very simple exercise, especially for those who are just starting out with their physical health journey. Magandang option yung walking. Kasi nga, hindi mo agad pinapwersa yung sarili mo. So, ang tendency is, hindi mo parang nafe-feel na pagod na ako, ayoko na ulit. Okay? So, kumbaga, pang jump start siya. So, continue walking. It's a very good way to maintain your good health. So now, we go to statistics. Globally, malaki po talaga yung burden ng pagiging inactive. So, 1 in 4 adults worldwide is insufficiently active because a lot of the work nowadays, most of the time, they are just in the offices, nakaupo in front of the computer, especially nung nag-pandemic, a lot of people are just sitting down, hindi na sila gumagalaw, kukuha lang ng pagkain, doon na rin sila kakain sa tabi ng laptop while they're working. So basically, really, nabawasan talaga yung physical activity. And it led to a lot of chronic non-communicable diseases. So 28% of adults globally do not meet the recommended activity level. So this is a very big percentage. And unfortunately, itong pagiging inactive ng mga tao, sedentary lifestyle, is part of urbanization. So kasi nga, mas gusto na ng mga tao yung convenient. Sa mga bahay, pwede ka nang magwalis. Pwede ka nang wag magwalis kasi meron ng mga robot that can do that for you. Okay? Pwede mo na rin gawin na the-remote, yung ilaw, yung fan, lahat ng bagay sa bahay mo, pwede nang it's either i-remote or may Alexa or Siri na that can do that for you. Voice activated pa. So, ibig sabihin, because of the advent of technology, urbanization, yung physical activity was put at compromise. Now, physical inactivity leads to 68% of deaths. Again, from non-communicable diseases kasi talagang they are hand in hand. If you do not move around, you will have sluggish blood flow and hence, kung meron kayong mga cardiovascular diseases, even diabetes, and even associated with cancer. Okay? So, physical activity is really something na dapat i-adapt natin in our daily life. Okay? Because again, it's a leading risk factor for mortality. So here in the Philippines, of course, kasama tayo dito. Probably kahit na hindi ganun kayaman yung ating bansa in terms of economy, pero kasabay tayo na nakiki-adapt ng mga technology na ito. So like in our daily lives, because of urbanization, yan, lagi na lang tayo nakaharap sa computer, the activities that we do on a daily basis, mostly nanonood ng TV as a form of relaxation, we don't really move around much. Even for the transportation, talagang mas pinipili na natin yung mas convenient sa atin without realizing that again, because of this technology and urbanization, our health has been compromised. Okay, 37% of Filipino adults are physically inactive. So mas mataas pa yung percentage here in the Philippines as compared to the global percentage. Okay? And what's really alarming is even younger adults, even the children, dati naglalaro pa yung mga bata sa labas. But ngayon, wala ka na makikita masyadong bata sa labas because they are very occupied with their gadgets, cell phones, YouTube, Roblox. Okay? So here in the Philippines, 76% of Filipino adolescents do not meet the recommended activity levels. Okay? So probably the reason why hindi na sila masyadong nakaka-move around is wala nang magalawan. Okay? Marami na masyadong very minimal na yung park, especially here in Metro Manila. Wala ka na mapuntahan na park masyado. Or even outside the homes, medyo masikip na yung mga daan. And it's very scary then for parents, to let your children out kasi nga ang daming sasakyan, very polluted yung paligid. It's not really conducive for safe play outside. That's why, because of the advent again of urbanization, na-sacrifice hindi lang yung health nating mga adults, but same thing with our children. Okay? So when we talk about physical activity, ano ba talaga to? Simply put, when you say physical activity, when you get physical, when you move around, okay? This includes daily activities. So, kunyari, naglilinis ka ng bahay, tumayo ka, nagduwalis ka, or even at work, okay? When you decide to go to the bathroom, you go back, or mas nag-decide ka na kumain sa labas instead of just staying in your desk. Those are daily activities. And it also includes structured exercise. So for some people, they go to the gym or they enroll in some programs. Kunyari, yung iba nag-zumba, yung iba may mga cycling na activities, or yun nga, di ba may mga nakikita tayo sa daan, nagbabike sila as a group, and then they go to a far place, dun sila, nagbabike sila. Those are part of your physical activity. And again, it just includes body movement, brought about by your skeletal muscles. When we say skeletal muscles, these are the muscles that move your bones. Small, your triceps small. Basically, doing your workout or your physical activity. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people are sedentary. Okay? And when you say sedentary, yun po yung may parati lang nakaupo. Again, wala masyadong activities. Do you know that sitting more than 6 to 8 hours is linked, okay, na magkaroon ka ng higher risk of heart disease, even if you're doing your exercise previously at regularly. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kahit na ikaw ay nag-exercise, pero nakaupo ka pa rin most of the day, higher risk ka pa rin of having heart disease. Okay? So, hindi ka pala lusot kahit na pala nag-workout ka, pero kung nakaupo ka most hours of the day. When you have prolonged immobility, you do not move much. This suppresses the enzymes for breaking down fats and sugars. That's why when you're not moving around too much, nag-accumulate yung fat, kaya medyo tumataba. At the same time, nagkakaroon ng insulin resistance, meaning yung iba, they develop diabetes. They develop type 2 diabetes. Okay? Kasi nga, hindi na nila makontrol yung sugar levels. Now, with the fat accumulation and the muscle wasting, you again reduce your capability to break down whatever you've eaten. Kaya parang it's a cycle. Kakain ka, hindi ka gagalaw, and because of the immobility and not moving around, nababawasan pa yung capability mo to burn what you ate. So again, kakain ka na naman, hindi ka naman gagalaw, hindi mo na naman siya mag-burn, mag-accumulate ka na naman ng fat and hindi mo siya mababurn because of sugar or insulin resistance. So it's a vicious cycle. Okay? For people who are not moving around or who do not exercise much, they are at a higher risk of developing mental health issues. Because when you do workouts or nagmo-move around, it releases your happy hormones such as your endorphins. Okay? And again, if you do not move around, your range of motion, your muscles can get injured kasi nagsuswell sila, parang nawawalan na yung capability nila to move. Nakakalimutan nila na yun pala yung function nila because they're not doing it regularly. So when we talk about sedentary behavior, nami-mention dito yung word na MET or metabolic equivalent. Okay, so yung konsepto kasi ng metabolic equivalent is a bit technical. But siguro suffice to know na when you talk about metabolic equivalent, 1 metabolic equivalent means yun yung energy na nababurn mo when you're just at rest or sitting down. Yun yung baseline. Okay, so ibig sabihin, the higher the metabolic equivalent, ibig sabihin, mas madami kang energy na nababurn. So, mas prefer natin na kapag nag-workout tayo, dapat na tutumbasan natin ng mas mataas na metabolic equivalent. Because some patients would come and say, Doc, I work as a Grab driver and I drive my car for 10 hours a day. And feeling nila, workout na yun kasi trabaho, work yun eh. So parang feeling nila, it's work. But technically, it's not really work because the metabolic equivalent of just driving is 1.5 METs. Ibig sabihin, parang katumbas lang nun, na naka-address ka, kumunting angat ka lang. Okay? So for these patients, I have to explain to them na even if you're driving or working for 10 hours a day, that you would still not be able to comply with the WHO recommendation of physical activity. Kasi again, hindi ka naman nakapag-burn talaga ng calorie. Wala ka talagang energy expenditure na ginawa. Okay? So again, kasama sa ating sedentary behavior, your desk work, driving, television viewing, and prolonged device use, all of which we do on a daily basis. Araw-araw ganito tayo. Okay? So without the recognition that we actually have the sedentary behavior, how would we know that we have to address it? Diba? Kaya dapat tayo nare-recognize natin because some people are actually in denial. Dok, nagtatrabaho kaya ako ng 8 oras sa office. O, di ba trabaho yun? Hindi ba workout na yun? Without realizing that those are two different things. Okay? So, what's WHO exercise recommendation? You do at least 150 minutes of moderate activity weekly or 75 minutes if it's vigorous activity. So again, how would you know if it's moderate or vigorous? As I always explain to patients para mas madali nilang matandaan, kasi kung talagang susukatin mo if it's moderate or intense physical activity, they have computations for this. And it would depend on your target heart rate. May formula to, medyo toxic. Okay. So, multiply mo, may i-divide ka. May calculator nga actually for this. If you Google it, there's actually a calculator for you to compute if it's moderate or high intensity, if you're able to reach your target heart rate. But simply put, para walang math, kasi ayoko din po ng math. I am not good in math. So, what I tell my patients is it's moderate intensity exercise if, number 1, you're doing your exercise, o nasa gym ka kunyari, meron kang kachismisan na gym body mo and then you're listening to the music, okay? If you're doing moderate intensity exercise, you will not be able to sing along with the music. Pero, pwedeng makipagchismisan with your gym body. You maintain that for 30 minutes every session. You do that 5 times a week. Pasok na po kayo sa WHO recommendation. But, for those people na medyo mas limited yung time, they can shorten it into half. Okay? 75 minutes lang of intense exercise. Paano ko po malalaman if it's intense? Again, same scenario. Nag-gym po kayo. Mayroon kang kasamang gym mo, ka-gym body mo. And then, you're listening to the music. Definitely, syempre, hindi ka makakakanta. Okay? At the same time, hindi ka rin makakapag-chismis with your gym body kasi hihingalin po kayo. And then again, you maintain that for several minutes. You do that 5 times a week or shorter, longer period, but shorter number of days. Pasok na kayo sa WHO recommendation. Okay? Now, for children, sila 60 minutes a day of moderate to vigorous exercise. So, kung makikita nyo, for the children, medyo mas mataas yung requirement for them. Okay? So, I want this to be a wake-up call for you guys. Especially kung may mga bata kayo sa bahay. Yung mga anak nyo po. Yes, I know it's very difficult and it's easier said than done na paglaruin nyo po sila sa labas ng bahay because hindi naman tayong lahat ay mayroong ample space for them to play around. But it's really important that they move around, that they do activities kasi bata sila. Okay? They really need that kind of activity para ma-burn nila yung kinakain nila. And at the same time, para mag-develop sila ng maganda. So again, 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise activity per day pag sa mga bata. Now, sobrang daming klase ng exercises, okay? But I'll just be acquainting you with some of the most common. These exercises are actually close to my heart because before I took med school, I was a physical therapist. Okay, I'm actually a licensed physical therapist as well. And eto yung tinuturo namin sa mga pasyente namin day in and day out. So medyo close to my heart. First type of exercise is the aerobic exercise. When we talk about aerobic exercise, basically, ang gusto nitong i-develop is our cardiovascular endurance. Ibig sabihin, gaano katatagal? Nang hindi ka hinihingal, hindi ka hinahapo, okay? And as you do this continuously, mas mag-i-improve yung cardiovascular endurance and stamina mo. So kung previously, tumatakbo ka, 10 minutes lang para ka nang hinahapo, parang mahihimatay ka na, okay? If you do that regularly, mapapansin mo, after 4 to 6 weeks, parang chicken feed na lang yung 20 minutes, 10 minutes ko Parang kaya ko ng 30 minutes yung running. Okay? Because that's the beauty of aerobic exercise. Gumaganda yung circulation, gumaganda rin yung strength ng heart mo. Kaya, nakaka-endure na siya ng longer periods of training. Okay? So, I just want to reiterate. Diba, meron tayong different types of exercises. There's a theory called specificity of training. Ibig sabihin, kunyari, most of your exercise, ang ginagawa mo is aerobic. Ibig sabihin, mas dinedevelop mo yung cardiovascular endurance mo. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kung mas develop yung kung mas ma-develop yung cardiovascular system mo, medyo, pagdating ng strengthening, kaya mo naman, pero mas capable lang yung body mo na mag-endure ng prolonged exercise. Kasi, again, as you can see, the activities involved in aerobic exercise, they involve movement of big muscle group. Your brisk walking, yan, yung mga leg, yung mga thigh muscles nyo. Same thing with running and cycling and swimming. Okay? So, itong mga big muscle groups yung gumagalaw, kaya talagang puso. Bakit yung puso? Because your heart needs to supply the required oxygen and nutrients to those big muscle groups. Kaya talagang kailangan niya magbomba. So, na-exercise yung heart. Not just the muscles, but the heart as well. Okay? But, when you do your strengthening exercises or strength training, ito yung mas specific. Mga power lifts yan. So, we just target muscle groups. Okay? So, ito po yung nag-weights kayo, nagda-dumbbells kayo, you use your TheraBand, yung mga resistance band nyo. Ito yon kasi you're targeting specific muscle groups. Okay? These are actually, kunyari may mga athlete. Yung mga atleta na nagtitrain for swimming, for cycling, hindi mo sila pwedeng basta ipasok ng weightlifting. Kasi magkaiba yung training nila. Okay? Yun yung specificity of training. Ibig sabihin, kung nasana yung katawan mo na more on sa aerobic exercise ka, it doesn't magbuhat. Kaya mo pa din naman. It's just that your body is better fit kung ano yung tinraining mo, of course. Okay? Same thing din kung mga powerlifting. So, yung mga yung sila Heidelin, nagpa-powerlift yan. Pag sinabak mo siya sa swimming, baka hindi niya kayang ma-endure yung ganong klase ng activity. Because again, hindi yun yung tinraining niya. More of strength yung kanya. Okay, so again, ito yung mga bursts of muscle movements. Okay, what does it do? It would increase your muscle mass kasi nga may mga tina-target kang muscle groups dito. And because your muscle becomes increased in size, syempre, in capability din. Mas kaya niyang mag-burn ng energy, mas kaya niyang mag-burn ng fats. Okay? And hence, strength would also improve. Next is flexibility. Okay, now, when we talk about flexibility, it means range of motion. So, kunyari, yung kamay mo, kaya mo siyang i-move ng diretso paharap, palikod, nang walang sakit or walang limitation. Because for some people, when they don't move around, especially kung mga debilitated patients, yung nakahiga na lang, mapapansin nyo, kapag nakahiga ang isang pasyente for a prolonged period of time, pag iginalaw mo yung kanyang arm, parang masakit na for that particular patient. And kung mas matagal pa talaga na hindi mo siya gagalawin, titigas yung joint ng nakatuwid. Okay? Nawawala yung flexibility. Kasi nagkakaroon ng adhesions dun sa kanyang joints. So, the goal of flexibility exercise is to maintain the range of motion. Para when you do your exercises, kaya niya yung full range. Hindi yung magbuhat ka ng dumbbell mo. Ay, hanggang dito lang. Ay, hindi na kaya kasi limited na yung motion. Okay, so you have to maintain the full range of motion. So when you do your elbow flexion, dapat napapagdikit mo tong dalawa. Okay? But again, kung hindi ka madalas gumalaw, tapos bigla ka nag-workout, hanggang dyan lang, masakit na. Okay? So you do your flexibility exercises to maintain the range of motion and at the same time, merong mga pasyente na kung saan, because of an injury, kunyari, Dok, madalas po kasi na masakit yung likod ko, especially if it's in the low back area. Kadalasan, akala nila yung gulugod or yung spine yung problema. Without realizing na kaya pala sila naglo-low back pain is because yung muscles nila sa legs, sa thighs, ay hindi flexible. Okay? So, dahil hindi flexible yung kanilang muscles in the thigh, pangit ngayon yung positioning ng joint, causing the pain. Okay? So, if you're having low back pain, wag nyo lang i-focus dun sa bone or sa spine. Check nyo rin, baka naman kasi hindi pala ako nakakapag-stretch. Try nyo pong umupo nang naka-straight, nakaupo po kayo kunyari sa bed. Yung paa nyo and yung buong leg, straight nyo. Try nyo abutin yung arm, ay yung toes nyo. Kapag medyo hirap kayong abutin yung toes nyo, that's a sign of stiffness. Ibig sabihin, medyo kulang na sa flexibility. Okay? So when we do your flexibility, you do stretching exercises para maibalik yung flexibility. So kung meron mang muscles previously that have contractures or may mga nagdikit na mga structures in your joints, matatanggal yon through the stretching exercises. So you have your static stretching and then your dynamic stretching as well as your mobility exercises. Now, balance training, usually naman when you do your exercises, regardless if it's cardio or if it's strengthening or if it's flexibility, ini-incorporate na tong balance training, isinasabay na. Okay? So like for instance, so you're lifting your weights, you can do your weightlifting in a single leg stance. Sabihin, isang paa lang yung nakatapak. So dalawa na, 2 birds in 1 stone. Nagsistrengthening ka na, at the same time, tinetest and ini-enhance mo din yung balance mo as well. Okay? Also, there are specific exercises like Tai Chi. Kasi ang Tai Chi may mga one-leg stance yan na kailangan mong i-assume. Yoga, okay, heel-to-toe walking, and stability ball routine. Yung mga nakahiga sa ball, binabalanse yung katawan. Okay? So, balance training, we do it especially for mga adults, senior citizens. Kasi sila yung medyo impaired na yung sense of balance because of age din. Sila yung mga joints nila. Kasi in your joints, there's actually a structure there na nakaka-detect ano ba yung posisyon ng paa mo. Paano mo ba dapat i-assume yung posisyon na to? Nai-impair yon. Kaya minsan for mga senior, pagtapak nila, since impaired yon, yung sense of sensing the position na yon, minsan parang nagigewang sila kasi hindi na ma-sense ng joint na, nakatayo ka pala and you're facing this way. Mali yung sinesend na signal ng structure na yun sa joint. Kaya parang na out of balance sila kasi kinokorek ng mind. So kumbaga, hindi nagpapanugma yung nagsisense ng joint dun sa napaperceive ng mind. Hence, problem in balance. Kaya kapag may problema sa balance yung mga matatanda, di ba? Madalas madulas, madalas matapilok, madalas mahulog. Okay? Kaya, we try to enhance their balance para ma-avoid yung mga incidents na yun. Now, we go to benefits of exercise. Siguro yung benefits of exercise, madalas na tong nai-explain sa atin, but most of the time, hindi natin pinapansin because we believe na I'm so busy eh. Kiber na lang dun sa benefits. But, cardiovascular-wise, when you do your regular physical activity, it will lower your bad cholesterol. It will increase your good cholesterol. Ano ba yung bad and good? Of course, the bad cholesterol, those are the cholesterol that would clog up your blood vessels. While your good cholesterol, sila naman yung magtatanggal ng bad cholesterol and put it out of your system. So combo yan. Ang ganda ng effect ng exercise kasi bababa ng bad cholesterol, tataas pa yung good. And of course, it would improve your circulation, at the same time, strengthen the heart muscle. Ito yung benefit na makukuha mo more if you do aerobic exercises. Now, for weight management, we have to understand that the only way to really burn what we eat is through activity. Okay? So when you do your physical activity, hindi lang nag-i-increase yung energy expenditure, you burn more calories. And when you burn the calories, hindi lang yun you burn the fat. Kasi di ba yung fat natin, it's actually a storage for carbohydrate. Okay? So ibig sabihin, kapag nag-workout ka, nasunog mo na lahat ng kinain mo, ang next na susunugin na niya ng katawan mo para magamit as a form of energy are the fats. Okay? Kaya pag medyo hinabaan mo pa yung exercise mo at naubos na ng katawan mo yung kinain mo, si fats naman yung ibaburn niya. Okay? Kaya, weight management. So, dalawa yung ginagawa niya. Increasing energy expenditure, you burn the fat as well. And improves insulin sensitivity. And I really want to reiterate this kasi may mga diabetic patients. The medications work better if they move around. Okay? Kasi nga, nag-i-increase ulit yung pagiging sensitive. They have the insulin. It's just that they're not able to use it kasi yung kanilang gateway para magamit yung insulin, hindi pumapalya. Okay? So, para mas maging sensitive ulit yung kinakabitan ng insulin para magamit yon, physical activity yung makaka-address. Okay? Mental health, I've mentioned this previously. When you do your exercise, you would release your happy hormones, your serotonin and endorphin. Okay? Kaya ito yung basis. Bakit pagka malungkot ka, mag-workout ka, parang sumasaya ka. Parang medyo nalilift yung spirits. Okay? Not only that, it reduces the stress hormones. Kasi parang magkalaban yan eh. Pag tumataas yung happy hormones, bababa yung stress hormones. And it enhances sleep. For patients who are suffering from mental health illness, napaka-importante ng sleep. Kasi if you're not able to attain a 7-hour sleep a day, na continuous to ha, hindi putol-putol, 7 straight hours. Okay? So for those patients who are having difficulty sleeping, may ina-advise dyan para mas maging masarap yung tulog. You do your workout in the morning. Okay, huwag gagawin yung workout pag malapit ng matulog. And of course, because when you do your workout, it again releases hormones that would increase or enhance the release of melatonin as well. So again, for diabetes, this is very important for all my diabetic patients. Hindi pwedeng mawawala sa advice ko yung physical activity. Why? Kasi again, kung palyado yung kinakabitan ng insulin, it's like a switch that's starting to malfunction. Okay? So lagi ko in-explain to, kunyari kayo may diabetes, parang kunyari yung sugar nyo nasa blood, bago siya makapasok in your organs, kailangan niyang kumabit dun sa key para mabuksan yung gate so that the sugar can enter. The problem with diabetes is the mechanism of the lock and the gate is not working. Naging insensitive siya. So, ina-unlock ng insulin pero hindi nagbubukas yung gate. But with exercise, this is based on studies, physical activity can increase your sensitivity to insulin again. Ibig sabihin, kaya niya ulit paganahin yung lock and key mechanism na yan. Hence, reducing your HbA1c, and your HbA1c is the average of your blood sugar for the past 3 months. Okay, so ibig sabihin, kaya niyang i-regulate yan. And studies show that if you do regular physical activity, you will have decreased risk of type 2 diabetes by up to 58%. Ang laki nun. Kaya wag niyo pong i-ignore yung benefit ng physical activity, especially for those here who has family history of diabetes. It's very important. Kasama talaga siya. Okay, because a lot of patients, they think na, Doc, I am diagnosed with diabetes or I have a family history of diabetes. I'm taking medications already. Enough na yon. No. When you manage diabetes, it's always hand in hand with your lifestyle intervention. Kasama doon yung paggalaw. Okay? So, napaka-importante, exercise for diabetic patients. Now, exercise for hypertension. Ito, marami kasing pasyente na hypertensive, and they would tell me, Doc, ayoko po mag-exercise kasi po baka ma-stroke ako. Okay? Again, isa po itong myth. Siyempre, when you're taking your medication, at saka controlled po ang inyong high blood, siyempre, yun ang premise. Of course, why would you do your exercise? Kakaalam mo lang na hypertensive ka, ang BP mo 200 over 120. Would you do your exercises? Siyempre, hindi. Ang premise dito is, regular na kayong nakita ng doktor, you already have your medication for hypertension, and it's already controlled. Maganda na. Hence, you can do your exercises kung ano po yung pinrescribe sa inyo. Okay? Definitely, hindi po kayo mag-exercise kung ang BP nyo ay hindi pa controlled and it's still spiking up. Because yes, pwede po kayo ma-stroke if you do that. Okay? Studies say that if you do aerobic exercises, kaya niyang pababain yung inyong blood pressure by 5 to 8. So, kunyari, 160 over 90. Oh, pababain mo ng 5, edi 155 na lang yun. Kung mas irregular mo pa, pwede pa siyang mas bumaba. Samahan mo pa ng nutrition and diet, mas bababa. Kaya really, when we deal with this non-communicable diseases, it's really hand in hand. Hindi pwedeng diet lang. Kasama talaga yung physical activity. Okay. Strength training. So for those of you na nagbubuhat, okay, nagda-dumbbells, they go to the gym regularly, yung general advice is, you work the major muscle groups. Flexors ng forearm and arm, flexors ng hips and thighs. Okay, and when you do it, kami, when we recommend physical activity to our patients, nung ako ay nag-physical therapy pa, usually we do it 10 reps or 10 repetitions and 2 to 3 sets. Now, of course, just like in whatever aspect, like kunyari nag-intermittent fasting ka or may ginagawa kang whatever activity, you start with the lowest muna. So kung nagbubuhat, pinakamababang load muna yung buhatin. Wag po na first day mo lang sa gym, gusto mong magpakitang gilas kasi may pogi. Binuhat mo agad yung 10 kilos. Tas gusto mo, 10 reps, 3 sets, good luck. Okay, injury po yung aabutin nyo nun. Okay, so again, di ba, sabi natin, it should be gradual. Okay? So start ka muna with cute lang, 2 pounds, 2.5, 3 pounds. Increase the rate. Usually, we increase it after 2 weeks. Now, increase the load gradually and huwag niyong kakalimutan na kailangan may rest in between. Because the assumption is, when you do your workout, syempre kung newbie ka pa lang, may mga micro tears in your muscle that could happen. Okay? And with the micro tear, it would need to heal. Eh kung kunyari ngayon, nag 2 kilos ka na weights, eh gustong-gusto mo, atat ka na talagang magpalaki ng muscle, may sasalihan na contest for the Christmas. Christmas party namin, Dok eh. Gusto ko bulky yung biceps ko. So I would do my workout every day. The ending would be, baka hindi ka po maka-attend ng Christmas party kasi nakahandusay ka na po sa kama at masakit na yung iyong muscles. Okay? So you really have to respect the pain always. Pagka makirot, ipahinga. Okay? What's the cause of the pain? The cause of the pain is either, yan nga, may micro tears in your muscle brought about by the workout, or may acid build up. Eh, kasi nga, gumamit ka ng energy dyan eh. Gumamit ka ng oxygen dyan. So, may build up ng acid. Okay. If the cause of the pain is due to acid build up, kapag nag-cool down ka na, matatanggal yung acid. Medyo mababawasan yung pain. But if it's really caused by injury or micro tear to your muscles, the more that you work out, the more that it will get painful. Okay? So again, put 48-hour rest in between your sessions. Yun yung standard. Okay? Nowadays, marami na mga tao na nag-workout at home while others still prefer to work sa workout sa gym. Ano bang difference? physically, wala naman talagang pinag-iba. Okay? Even the routine, ang dami na ngayon sa YouTube, mga workout guides. They're really very effective as well. At saka very detailed na sila and very easy to follow. What's the difference? So for some people kasi, it works better for them if they're working out at home. Medyo gusto nila private moment to for them. They're doing their workout routine. Wala pang babayaran. Convenient kasi nasa bahay lang lahat ng gamit na kailangan nandyan. It works better for them. But for some, the reason why they go to the gym is mas maraming gamit. They don't have to buy it. Okay? May mga available lessons, may mga available na nag-guide sa inyo, like your fitness instructors. And nakikita mo kasi yung mga ibang tao that are working out. And for some people, it's a sort of motivation for them. Parang nakikita nila na, uy, maganda na yung katawan nito. Ako din nga. Okay? So it's like, namomotivate sila more pag nakikita nila na may nag-workout. So, it really depends on the person. Whatever works out for you. Hindi naman kasi ito sa setting ang pinagtatalunan natin. But it's really the consistency. Oh, nag-workout ka nga sa gym. Tinamad ka naman the following week kasi busy na sa trabaho. Oh, di wala rin. Oh, nag-set up ka nga ng exercise area mo at home. Kaso, hindi mo rin natuloy kasi tinamad ka na. Hindi useless din siya. Again, the keyword here is sustainability. Because if you will not be able to sustain whatever workout routine you chose, baliwala din siya. Okay? When you train, kahit gaano ka nakatagal ng training, but you stopped for 2 weeks, back to zero ka ulit. Okay? Those are backed up by studies. So, kapag nasimulan mo na yan at natuloy-tuloy mo na rin yan, and you started forming a habit, it will become easier for you na ituloy-tuloy siya. Okay. For some people, they do outdoor activity. Bakit? Kasi they find it enjoyable as compared to mas structured na, ay, doc, may sinusundan ako sa TV. Nanood ako ng mga HIIT exercises. Kaya lang, parang boring na eh. Kailangan ko nang humanap ng ibang paraan para mas maging enjoyable tong workout na to for me. That's okay. You can do walking around the subdivision or walking around yung iba sa BGC, naglalakad sila, nagha-hiking sila sa mga bundok kasi they find the scenery enjoyable. Hindi nila masyadong napapansin the effort that they're putting into the activity. So, di nila na-realize, oh, naka 30 minutes or 1 hour na pala ako na nag-walk, nagha-hike or nagsa-cycling. Kasi ang ganda ng paligid na enjoy nila. Okay? So really, you have to choose what works well for you because again, it all boils down to sustainability. Nag-cycling ka nga. Hindi mo naman pala yung regular na magagawa. Once in a blue moon lang pala yung magsa-cycling ka. Useless din siya. Okay? Nag-hiking ka, wala ka naman kasama palang mag-hiking. Ikaw lang mag-isa, ayaw mo pala ng ganun. Useless. Okay, so again, dapat you will be able to sustain it para yung benefits would be sustainable din for you. Okay. Warm up. This is very important. So, a lot of people, gigil mag-exercise. Sige, tsaka minsan kasi they're not aware that they really have to do the warm up. Akala nila keme-keme lang yung warm up. Wala yun, eme-eme, warm up. But it's really very important. Okay, I would like to share to you a story. When I was in med school, syempre pa physical feeling ko, wala na akong physical activity. So, nag-jogging ako. So, yun nga, I am a graduate of PLM. So, doon ako nag-jogging. Nakatira ako malapit sa Intramuros. So, I did my jogging around the walls of Intramuros bago ako pumasok sa school. So, jogging ako agad. Diretso na. Eh, syempre, medyo limited yung time because I did it before my classes. So, jogging ako. 20 minutes lang. Kasi yun lang yung kaya ng baga at puso ko during that time. So, jogging ako, 20 minutes. Walang warm up, walang cool down. First day, okay ako, nakapasok ako. Our classroom then was at Hospital ng Maynila. But it's located at the second floor. Buti na lang second floor lang. Okay. So, when I did that during the first day, I was okay. Okay. The second time I did it, okay pa rin ako. Pagdating ng third day ko, nako, para po akong lolang umaakyat ng hagdan. Ang sakit talaga ng legs sa thighs ko. Okay? This could have been avoided if I did my warm-up properly. Why? Because your warm-up it prepares your muscles. Hindi siya nabibigla. So, bago kayo sumabak, i-warm up nyo muna. Okay? Parang heating yan. I-heat mo muna lightly. 5 to 10 minutes lang naman eh. So, ibig sabihin, bago ko itodo yung jogging ko, I should have just walk muna. Kahit brisk. Or walk lang, light walk muna, 5 minutes. Para mag-init muna yung muscles. Kapag naka-warm up na ako, then that's the time that I do my regular routine. O jog na ako, dapat. I should have done that. Because it's really painful. Tsaka mas tumatagal talaga yung healing time. So again, do your warm-up. That's 5 to 10 minutes before your exercise proper because you need to prepare your muscles. Okay? Unti-unti pa lang natataas yung blood flow dun sa muscles eh. Okay? Hence, less yung injury. Same thing din with cool down and stretching. Hindi ko rin to ginawa. Kasi pagkatapos kong mag-jogging for 20 minutes, ligo na ako, papasok na ako sa school. Okay? And this was a no-no for me. Natutunan ko to the hard way. Ang sakit talaga niya. So when you do your cool down, it allows your muscles to relax again. Slows down the heart rate. Pinapaganda niya ulit yung blood flow. Because di ba mito, some of you may have experienced this. When you're doing your exercise sa inyong treadmill, tumodo ka, bigla mo in-stop. Di ba parang bigla ka magko-collapse? Bigla ka nahilo, hindi ka man lang nag-cool down. That's because all the blood ay nandun sa inyong mga muscles. Tapos bigla kang tumigil. Nawawala ng blood supply yung brain. Kaya parang, whoa, you feel woozy. Para kang magko-collapse. Kasi nga, hindi pa naka-adjust yung blood mo kung paano ba siya dadaloy sa katawan mo eh. Bigla mong tinigil. Okay? Cool down is very important. Of course, we know we need proper hydration kasi pag tayo gumagalaw, papawis ka, mababawasan ka ng water and electrolytes. So you have to drink 500 ml 2 hours before an intense exercise. Okay? You can take small sips during the activity. And if talagang intense yung workout mo, drink electrolytes in the form of Oresol, pwede na. We do not recommend kasi yung mga Gatorade, yung mga Pocari Sweat, kasi they do not really mimic the exact formula of your body fluid as compared to Oresol. Mas mura pa yun. Kakanawin mo lang. O, yun yung i-ready nyo. Okay? Now, how do you avoid injuries when you're doing your physical activity? Of course, use your correct form. Kadalasan po itong nangyayari. And I've seen this over and over again, especially nung ako yung physical therapist. Ang daming may low back injury. Bakit? Lalo yung mga nagli-lift ng weights, yung mga nagpapa-buff. Okay? Hindi kasi tama yung form. Okay? Mali yung form, kaya ang tendency, nagkaka-injury. Like, kunyari, nagbubuhat po kayo ng weights. Okay. Kapag yung back nyo hindi well supported, hindi tama ang posisyon, mai-injure talaga kayo. Number 2, footwear. This is very important. Okay? Hindi lang with physical activity, kahit na nga kung nagsusports kayo, may proper footwear for basketball, may proper footwear for running. Kasi it depends on your level of physical activity kung anong support yung pinoprovide ng footwear. Of course, the higher, kunyari, merong mga iba, mga ankle length yung sapatos. May mga high cut na sapatos, diba? They provide better support sa ankle. So yung mga naglalaro ng basketball, gusto nila yung high yung ankle yung sapatos kasi nga mas stable. Okay? Of course, katulad ng binanggit ko kanina, you need gradual progression. Okay? Because with a gradual progression, nasasanay muna yung muscles nyo to move unti-unti. They are able to adjust. Because if you start again with the highest or matataas agad yung load, may injure talaga yung muscles. They can actually tear down. Okay? Respect the pain. You need adequate rest in between. That's why we do not recommend working out every day. Okay? Or if you do, gusto nyo talaga, Dok, talagang gusto ko, gigil ako eh. Okay, what you can do is, for this session, you do your arm workout. The second day, you can do your leg workout. The third day, you can do your core exercises. Ibig sabihin, yes, you still did it every day, but you targeted different muscle groups, one at a time. Hindi pwedeng, Doc, I want whole week. Gusto ko po talaga yung arms ko talagang maging Ganun, malaki. Araw-araw po ako magbubuhat ng weights. Hindi siya practical because again, sa una, kala mo kakayanin mo, but pag naramdaman mo na yung injury and the pain, mas matagal yung healing time, mas matagal yung panahon na hindi mo siya maigagalaw. Parang may useless ulit yung effort mo before. Kaya, do not overtrain. Okay. What are the signs of overtraining? You have persistent fatigue, reduced performance, irritability, and frequent illness. Because kapag yung katawan mo ay may persistent na nag-overtrain ka, yung body mo, nakafocus na lang siya dun sa pagre-repair ng apakaraming injury na na-incur mo, bababa yung immune system. Kaya parang mabilis ka magkasakit. Okay? Yung naramdaman ko when I did my jogging, na I did not do my proper warm up and cool down, that's what you call DOMS, or delayed onset muscle soreness. And for those people who work out, lalo kung mga newbie pa lang, they really experience this. Okay, so you would usually experience it around the second to the third day post your exercise. Kasi yung pain, you wouldn't really feel it right away. Okay? Mafe-feel mo yan pwedeng the following day pa or ika-third day yung sakit. But, it would again go away. Okay? Sabi ko nga, when you do your exercise, mag-rest ka. Kung may kaunti pang pain, that's okay. You can work out again. Kasi pag nag-workout ka ulit, makakatulong yon na matanggal yung acidosis dun sa muscle. Kasi win-workout mo ulit siya. Okay? Unless, sobrang sakit talaga. Kapag ka ganun, wag mo na mag-workout. I-rest pa. Okay? Now, we have exercises for specific groups like mga senior citizens. Hindi naman ibig sabihin porque senior na hindi ka nagagalaw. Okay? But again, naiiba lang yung focus. Like for senior citizens, since they are more prone to falls, slipping, because of poor balance, di syempre, we focus on balance. So ito nga yung mga tiptoe sila, exercise, tsaka syempre, light na lang yung mga strengthening exercises. Hindi mo na yan pwedeng pagbuhatin ng mga 40 kilograms weight, baka magka-fracture sila. Because again, for the seniors, they are prone to be osteoporotic. Okay? Baka mamaya habang nagbubuhat yan. Yes, and that can happen. Nagkaka-fracture yung mga seniors na nagbubuhat ng mabibigat. That's possible. Okay? So mostly ito, more of ang binibuild mo na dito is not really strength per se, but endurance. Para they can still move around. They're still flexible. Okay? Now, for weight loss, really the concept here is whatever you eat, you have to burn it through physical activity. Okay? So, kunyari, nag-restrict na po ako, nag-calorie deficit na po ako eh. Mag-exercise pa ba ako? In order to lose weight, kahit na nag-calorie deficit ka na, kung ano yung calorie na tinake mo, kailangan mo pa rin siyang i-burn. Otherwise, balance lang. Hindi ka maglo-lose ng weight, mami-maintain mo lang siya. Okay? So actually, yung goal natin dito is, mas matumbasan natin ng physical activity, yung iyong kinakain, para mag-burn ka pa rin. Okay? So we aim for 250 to 300 minutes a week na exercise para maka-burn ka for you to be able to lose weight. Meron naman iba, mga skinny. Okay? Gusto ko po talaga maging maskulado. Okay? Posible naman yon, pero I would always tell them, kung skinny ka and medyo genetic itong cause ng pagiging skinny mo, medyo mas it would take a longer period of time for you to gain muscles. Kailangan mo talagang effortan. Hindi ka pwedeng, Dok, 1 week na, wala pang resulta. Ayoko na po. Okay? Kasi again, if you're genetically na parang namana mo, meron kasi talagang ganun. Okay? Meron 'di ba yung lahi nila, matataba sila talaga. It has a genetic component as well. Same thing din yung mga tao na parang kahit kumain ng dinosaur, mapayat pa din. Oh, genetic din yun. Napakaswerte ng mga taong yun. Eh, not unless may sakit sila, baka may hyperthyroidism. But really, there are people who they can eat a whole cow and still remain slim. Diba? Pero for those who want to gain muscles, again, the load should be progressive. So kung talagang gusto mong magkaroon ka ng bulk, you may start at a low load, and then you increase it eventually. Protein builds muscles. Okay? Kaya dapat higher intake of protein, pero don't overdo it. Like yung mga may ibang athletes, nagsusupplement ng kung ano-ano, kasi baka makompromise yung kidney. Okay? So, higher protein intake, pero yung healthy type of protein, kung pwede nga, ay mga animal. Although kasi medyo mabagal yung progress if you take plant-based protein. Pero hindi imposible. It's still possible. Okay? Mas healthier pa yun. Kaya lang yung iba talagang karne kung karne. Without consideration dun sa mga risks of having those high intake of animal protein. So, syempre, lumaki nga muscle mo, bara ka naman sa puso. Baliwala din, di ba? And of course, balance the activity with rest. Now, how do you stay motivated? You set goals. Okay? Ano bang gusto mo talaga? Next, you track your progress. There are some apps in your for the phone and for the watch na that can track kung gano'n na ba kalayo yung nalakad mo, ilang steps ka na ba a day. Those are really good motivating factors. Having a workout partner is also, well, it works for some patients. Mas gusto nila, Dok, mas masaya po kasi kung may kasama. Dalawa kami trying to achieve a particular goal. That's also good. Some, they enjoy classes. Yun nga, yung mga Zumba. Sometimes may mga dancing classes. They enjoy it more. And you reward milestones. Kunyari, nag-target ka. Kailangan, by the end of the month, nag-lose ako ng 1 kilo to 1.5 kilo. Na-achieve mo, o you celebrate it. Di ko naman po ibig sabihin na mag-samgyupsal at mag-buffet kayo for a week. But you can reward yourself kasi it's a milestone. When you set your goals, napaka-importante, it should be smart. It should be specific. Kunyari, gusto ko pumayat. How do you know kung pumayat ka na? Measurable. Gusto ko mag-lose ng 1 kilo for 2 weeks. 1 kilo in 2 weeks. Achievable. Kaya ba yun? Pwede mo ba sabihin, kunyari, nag-set ka ng goal. Gusto ko mag-lose ng 10 kilos in 1 week. Hindi yun achievable. And it's not realistic because you know that the healthy weight loss is only half kilo to 1 kilo per week. Yun lang ang healthy. Okay? So, hindi mo pwedeng i-goal yun. Dok, may party kasi ako next week. Christmas party po namin eh. Gusto ko po 10 kilos talaga. Hindi kaya po yun. That's not delusional po yun. Okay? And then time bound. So, kunyari, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 1 kilo in, pagpalagay natin 2 weeks. Oh, that's measurable. That's specific. That's achievable. Pwede yun, 1 kilo in 2 weeks. It's realistic. And it's time bound. Kasi sinabi mo na in 2 weeks. Para alam mo kung ma-check mo kung na-achieve mo ba yung goal. Mahirap kasing sabihin mo lang, gusto ko po pumayat. Diba? Paano mo mami-measure? Ano ba talaga yung goal? So you have to set smart goals. How to increase physical activity? Lalo na ngayon, it's the holiday season. Paano ko ba gagawin to, Doc? Ang hirap po. Now, you use the 150-minute rule. Aim to have at least 150 minutes lang. Kahit 150 minutes lang, 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. Okay? And what's good about this is, sabi ng WHO, pwede nga hindi straight. O kunyari, sinabi ko, di ba, 30 minutes a day. Pwede nga na hindi 30 minutes straight yun eh. Kung gusto mo, 10 minutes sa umaga, 10 minutes sa tanghali, 10 minutes sa gabi. Basta moderate activity. Pasok pa rin siya. O, i-attain mo lang yun every week na maka 150 minutes ka. Kahit gusto mo, i-plot mo pa. O, di very good. Now, increase your daily steps. Diba? May mga apps na nga tayo that can monitor. O, iset nyo muna, Dok, hindi ko pa po kaya yung 10,000. O, di set ka muna, 5,000 muna. O, after that, after mga 1, 2 weeks, Dok, okay na. Increase it again. O, dagdagan mo na, gawin mo ng 6,000 na until you reach at least 10,000 steps a day. Kasi malaking bagay siya. Now, when you go to work, o kunyari may meeting, you walk around, lalo kung mga naka-work from home naman, or even in the office. Baka sabihin, Dok, para naman akong baliw nun, nagbi-meeting ako, naglalakad ako, bit-bit ko yung laptop. But, that would increase your physical activity. Kunyari, nakikipag-usap ka sa phone, instead na nakaupo ka, tumayo ka, maglakad-lakad ka. Diba? Hindi naman yun parang baliw. It's just that you're having deliberate attempts to incorporate physical activity into your daily life. Okay? Because brisk walking would reduce your risk of heart disease by 20 to 30%. Now, you use stand and movement breaks. Every 30 minutes, every 60 minutes, tayo ka, kilos ka. Simple activities. Oh. Okay? Hindi kasi pwede na nakaupo lang po kayo for such a long period of time. 6 na oras ka nang nakaupo. It's not healthy. Schedule workouts like an appointment. Kasi if it's an appointment, 'di ba? Hindi mo siya pwedeng i-break. Kailangan sundin mo siya. So if you treat workouts like appointments, ibig sabihin dapat susundin mo, you're committed to it. Okay? Active transport. Kunyari, dati nagpapababa ka mismo, papara ka dun sa eksaktong tumbok ng kanto nyo. This time, para ka mga 1 street away para lalakarin mo. Sabi mo, Dok, nagbayad ako, parang, hindi yun. It's not the point. The point is for you to increase your physical activity. So kung ngayon, isang kanto lang yung layo, bumaba ka na, o di na ilakad mo. Sunod, 2 kanto naman. Okay? Or for some, although kasi ngayon parang ang hirap mag-bike going to your work kasi ang usok, ang alikabok. Pero di ba, mayroon na nga mga bike lane. It's really very healthy and I always admire them. Kasi ang galing ng stamina nun. Birin mo, magbibisikleta ka mula sa bahay hanggang sa trabaho, tapos pauwi. Ganda ng stamina yan. For sure, ang healthy ng mga yan. So yun, you can aim for that. Make exercise social because again, if you have social support, you would be able to adhere to it ng mas likely 40%. Choose enjoyable activities. Like I said, kunyari, nabobore kayo ng Dok, ayoko na sumusunod lang ako sa YouTube eh. Pwede nyo i-try swimming, hiking, or yun nga, join a Zumba group. Kasi if it's more enjoyable for you, it wouldn't feel like a task or a chore. Parang it would come naturally. Okay, and then, at home, dapat active kayo. Okay? Bawasan yung screen time, you do it as a family, mag-incorporate kayo ng mga activities kung saan kikilos lahat. Okay? Because it really starts at home. Kapag sa bahay, hindi kayo sanay that you're moving around, you will be able to adapt that kind of attitude everywhere you go. Now, I have included here some videos na madaling sundan, kayang-kayang gawin, even when you're at home, in the office, tatayo ka lang. So I really hope that you can all watch the videos and you can follow then with them because it's very easy to do and efficient na pang-increase ng activity. So number 1 is chin tucks.
Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. For chin tucks and sitting, you're going to actually move your chin back. It's not tucking it forward. So place your finger on your chin and leave your finger in one spot and then tuck it in and hold it.
Okay, so this is actually a form of stretching exercise. So for stretching exercises, we hold the position for 30 seconds. So you tuck your chin, 30 seconds, and then release it. Tuck your chin again, 30 seconds, and release it. Now ito, it's very easy to do and this really works wonders kapag sumasakit yung mga batok ninyo, lalo kung pangit yung posture nyo when you're working in front of the computer. You do this, mawawala siya. Okay? So, usually if we do stretching techniques, we hold the position for 30 seconds and do it 2 to 3 times. But if it's range of motion exercises, we do it 10 times. That's 3 sets then. For the arm stretches, it's very easy. Just interlock your fingers, upward and outward, and then hold the position again for 30 seconds. You should be able to feel the stretch in your arms, in your forearms. Hold it for 30 seconds, then do it 3 times. Okay, forearm stretch.
Straighten your arm out in front of you and pull your fingers back using your other hand. The crease of your elbow should be facing towards the ceiling and fingers pointing down. This exercise helps stretch the forearm flexor muscles and can help with repetitive strain injuries to the wrist and elbow, as well as golfer's elbow.
Okay, so again, for those of you who always use your wrist hand, your arm. They can get really tired. This is a very good exercise to relax your muscle. You can do it both ways with your fingers pointing up and your fingers pointing down. Just pull it towards you. You'll be able to feel the stretch on the opposite side. You hold the position for 30 seconds and do it for 3 repetitions.
Standing with good posture and your arms by your side, move your shoulders backwards, up, forwards, and down in a circular movement. Your arms remain by your side.
Okay, so a shoulder roll is actually a range of motion exercise. So if it's range of motion exercise, again, you do it 10 times, do it 2 to 3 sets. So ikot, okay, paharap, and you can do it backwards as well, okay? These would also increase the flexibility in your shoulder muscles. Okay, kaya yun nga, this is very good pag lagi lang nakaupo and you need to move around, lalo pag masakit yung mga upper back. This is really good. You have your shoulder squeeze.
Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. For shoulder squeezes, you're going to keep your elbows by your side and imagine that somebody has their hand on your spine and you're trying to squeeze it.
Okay, so a shoulder squeeze is also a stretching exercise. It targets the mid-back. This is a common problem area. Madalas ito yung masakit, ito yung ngalay. And you can actually do this to relax that muscle as well. So again, you hold the position, 30 seconds. You should be able to feel the stretch dito sa harap as well as din sa likod, sa gitna ng dalawang pakpak, yung ating scapula. Okay, hold the position for 30 seconds. Do it 2 to 3 times. We have your back bend.
Standing up with good posture, extend your back by arching your spine backwards. You can place your hands in the small of your back for support if you require. Start gently and keep the exercise within your comfort zone.
Okay, so the back bend would target the low back. So again, another problematic area for a lot of us, especially for always sitting down. After 20, 30 minutes of sitting down, tayo, stretch it, hold the position for 30 seconds, do it 2 to 3 times, and that would release the tension in your low back area. Okay, so for this day, we have discussed about physical activity. What are the implications if we don't move around, tapos we eat much pa, okay? What we can do para ma-increase natin yung ating physical activity. So, I do hope that you were able to learn some information that you can use in your daily life and that you will be able to apply it, especially now that it's the holidays. Don't just eat, okay? Move around as well. Because, just a parting message, sweat is just fat crying. Thank you, and I hope you have a good holidays and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Dr. Cunanan, for the helpful insights, and thank you to everyone who joined us today. If you want easy access to medical guidance, you can use ColaDoc powered by Dr. Anywhere. You can talk to a licensed doctor anytime for advice, prescriptions, and follow-up care. You can also access ColaDoc through the Generali Members mobile app available on the App Store and Google Play. For more health talks and upcoming learning sessions, visit our blog and webinar page at www.generali.com.ph. And thank you again for spending your time with us, Gabriel, and enjoy the rest of your day and your holiday. Bye!